Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the CertiK Security Leaderboard Showcase. I'm your host, Jesse. As you all know, in this showcase, I host a project for a live AMA where we discuss their work with CertiK. We touch on the recently launched Skynet for Community platform, and we throw in some questions submitted by you, the viewers. Our goal is to raise the standard of security and transparency across the entire Web3 ecosystem. The Security Leaderboard, found at CertiK.com, is a free tool to help you safely navigate the blockchain world. Today's featured project is ChainGPT, the fastest growing AI model for crypto. Let's take a look at this project.
ChainGPT is your personal expert in all crypto and blockchain related topics. Auditing is a complicated and essential step in the security process. At CertiK, we review the top DeFi projects to help you better understand the findings from our experts. This audit covers ChainGPT. The summary describes the audit and the types of analyses used. Overview shows the programming language, the blockchain used, and a link to the project's codebase. The vulnerability summary lists issues that need resolution. Audit scope displays which contracts were audited. Findings highlight all issues and ranks them in terms of severity from critical to discussion. In this audit, we found 0 findings. ChainGPT has resolved 0 issues. Visit CertiK.com for the full report.
So yeah, I encourage everyone to go to CertiK.com and check out the full audit report there for ChainGPT. So to discuss everything AI and blockchain, who better to talk to than Ilan Rachmanov, CEO of ChainGPT. How's it going?
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for having me here today. I'm Ilan, the CEO and founder of ChainGPT. And I'm very excited to be here and talk a little bit more about what we do here at ChainGPT AI.
Awesome. So, let's get started pretty generally. I'm sure everyone has heard of ChatGPT. What is ChainGPT? For those who are not familiar, what problems are you trying to solve in the blockchain crypto space?
Yes. So, first of all, the AI industry is a brand new technology, right? It's new to all of us. It started surfacing a few years ago. And nowadays, we all utilize it one way or another. So there are great companies out there, such as OpenAI, that truly open the door for the retail users to ChatGPT, for example, and other AI tools. And they're focused more on a generic AI solution. What we do at ChainGPT is that we designed multiple models specifically for Web3, crypto, and the blockchain space. So we're building use cases that are more designed for that world of the Web3 space.
Okay, great. That makes sense. So are you using the OpenAI model here? Is that the base of ChainGPT, or do you have have you customized that to sort of be particularly knowledgeable about crypto and useful?
Yeah. So we've actually been developing ChainGPT since September of 2022. We quickly in October already begun developing our own AI models. We have a model dedicated to generating art, and we have different models, one dedicated for the general crypto information, which is our general AI assistant. We have a model trained specifically to program Solidity and PineScript code. We have another model that's dedicated to trading assisting. So anything regarding to technical analysis, chart analysis, etc. Now, developing AI models is not an easy task. We've been developing these for about roughly 7 to 8 months now. And in the meantime, in our prototype, we have utilized a variety of third-party tools to already be able to offer a great AI solution. So in our NFT generator app that we're launching by the end of this month, and we did a quick sneak peek on our Twitter, I believe yesterday, we've partnered up with a company that created a custom model for us while we're actually developing our V1 model that will be even further improved. So within our prototype solution, we are implementing different third parties that we, of course, customize and improve further to fit our niche. So we do use some of the solutions OpenAI offers with a lot of other third parties to be able to make it ChainGPT. But as I mentioned earlier, we've been developing our completely independent models for about 7 to 8 months now, and we're planning to fully migrate to independent models that we've developed from scratch as soon as our V1 product launches.
Okay, great. And 7 to 8 months in the world of AI is a long time. A lot changes in that amount of time. So just to drill down into the details a little bit, you mentioned PineScript. So is that involved with like your trading platform? I remember I've messed around with PineScript a little bit on TradingView to try and create a automated bot sort of thing. Is that what ChainGPT can do?
So ChainGPT, we have two different models in that sense. We have the model that helps people code. Anything related to blockchain, crypto, and Web3 is our focus. In our V1, users can code any Solidity code they wish. They can audit codes, Solidity smart contracts, and they can. But of course, this is for developers, right? This is not a CertiK. This is not to the CertiK level. This is like, let's say I'm a developer coding a smart contract, and as I go, it can help me optimize the code, gas optimization, suggestion, etc. Just to be a disclaimer, this is not like a security audit in terms of what CertiK does. This is just to put a disclaimer out there. This is an assistant for developers as they're developing products. And then within that same model, it can also help developers write code, so write smart contract, write PineScript code. So this is all within the coding model. And then we have our trading assistant model, which is separate from the one that writes PineScript code, which traders can still use. The trading assistant model is there to help users with technical and chart analysis. So they can pull a chart of any crypto pair that is whitelisted by us, meaning it's listed on any of the bigger exchanges. They can pull the chart and then apply a variety of technical analysis strategies and parameters. And that tool is truly designed for both beginners and also experts in the trading space. It's simply a better way to conduct technical analysis, apply all kinds of strategies rather than doing it manually on TradingView.
Got it. Yeah, and it's interesting that you mentioned auditing and like a code assistant there as well. A lot of our auditors have used ChatGPT and other AI tools, and they really are powerful. They have their limitations as well, which we sort of explore in a couple of our blog posts. So I encourage everyone to go to certik.com/resources. Just search ChatGPT. You'll find some really interesting articles. I think AI has a lot to offer, but I don't think it's putting us all out of jobs just yet.
Definitely.
So technical analysis, NFT generation, code assistant. What else can you do with ChainGPT? What are some other power features?
Yeah, so we're here to pretty much provide the retail and institutional researchers a better tool for researching Web3. Right now, I'm sure you're aware of it. And even for people like us who are heavily involved in the space, it's sometimes hard to keep track. There is new technologies popping up on a daily basis, new projects, multiple of them a day. And sometimes it's hard to keep track with everything that's going on. And this is one problem that we noticed. And to truly have mass adoption in the future, retail users have to understand what's going on in the space. And to make it easier, we personally believe that old school or Web 2 search engines such as Google, they prioritize content and search results based on SEO. And rather than the quality of the content. So it can be often frustrating for users when they go to article after an article and to all these different search results, and they have more questions than answers, and they spend a ton of time while doing the research, and it doesn't have to be this way. So we designed ChainGPT AI to be a much quicker and more efficient research tool where you ask questions and you get dedicated answers fairly quickly. And what we do with our model is that we feed it with only high quality and accurate resources. We're actually cherry picking with our model that we've been training. We're cherry picking which data is entering our data set before we train the model. So it's truly giving you extremely accurate responses. And this way, users can very quickly research and learn about the Web3 space, anything that they wish to learn about. Now, what's different about our model is that it also stays up to date. It learns about the latest Solidity updates. It learns about the latest technologies, the projects that come out, and of course, all the other stuff such as on-chain data, crypto prices, etc. But to bring this a step farther, what we did then, we developed an automated AI news generator. So we created a model that scans the internet about all the latest news, and every 12 hours, it posts different articles. So that's pretty cool. Users can go to one place, simply scroll, and read all kinds of articles about the latest news in the blockchain space.
That's really cool. Yeah, no, AI curated crypto news source, and you raise a lot of good points there, especially about the sort of the lack of functionality that Web 2 search engines have. We see a lot of, sometimes you search MetaMask and you get a phishing link right at the top of Google. So there really are problems with research, with vetting and curating information, which it sounds like you're tackling head on. You mentioned that it's a you only feed like high quality data into your model. Is it transparent which data goes into that, or is this something that you need to keep a bit on the back end, or how does that work for users who want to have trust in ChainGPT?
Sure. So right now we're still in early startup stages. We're developing, of course, we're gatekeeping the data sets that we've been developing. Actually, if you would look up open source data sets about crypto, they simply don't exist. No one is either working on it, or if they do, they don't open source it. So to truly remain competitive while we're building our products, we're keeping everything, not everything completely, of course. Our smart contracts are open source, but then in terms of data sets and AI, we're keeping that as of now closed source. But that's not our main goal. Our main goal is to actually decentralize the way we're training our models and what data goes into the model, involve our DAO in that process as well, and of course open source these data sets and also allow users to with data sets that they contributed, with information that they contribute to the data set, to be able to monetize on that and sell it to other models. So we're working on a pretty cool system here. We're currently considering different cloud services that are also decentralized, like Greenfield by Binance, and we're in collaboration with them and exploring that option as well. So just because we're in such an early stage, I truly can't give the full picture of how we're going to manage the data sets, how open source and transparent it's going to be. But this is our goal, is definitely to open source as much as possible. We're here to contribute towards the AI tech in the Web3 space. We want to be the infrastructure of AI in Web3, and we actually want to support developers and businesses in the space as much as possible to integrate AI, use our data sets, use our technology, and this is where we're aiming towards. And as of now, the process of how we're actually making sure it's accurate and reliable resources. So we have a team of currently 17 engineers in our dev team that's in charge of the AI models. We of course we're 45 team members in general at ChainGPT. We're mostly focused on development, so most of the team members are actually in development, and we have different arms of development. We have our mobile app, the web app, we have different tools. But the ones that are working specifically on the AI model, most of them are either with PhDs in computer science or master degrees. We got very qualified people to work on our artificial intelligence technology and models. And what we do is that we have a few steps in the process. We have our data collectors that will go ahead and collect, the highest resources, the highest quality resources they can find for each use case that we have, for each and every model. And then we have the same data collectors. After they collect data, they break it down to kind of like a question answer system, which is then fed into the data set of the model. But before it happens, before we actually train the model on this latest data collection sheet, we will have blockchain specialists read line by line and verify that this is in fact correct information. So it's a lengthy process, but unlike the more generic models out there, we can just take 300 people from Upwork and train them on data collection, because then the data will be inaccurate. And in the blockchain space, there's little to no room for inaccuracies, especially if we want to generate smart contracts, code, JavaScript, Rust, PineScript, or in general, educate the users about the Web3 space. There is no room for inaccuracies. And that's why we're truly cherry picking which information goes into the model.
No, I agree 100%. It sounds like you're doing something very similar to what we do, which is auditing the inputs of what goes into your model, which is so important for having correct and useful functionality of the platform. And it really is the cutting edge, of technology, which is great to hear that you've got PhDs and master's degrees working on this. So what are the benefits of intersecting, bringing together crypto and AI? Why do they fit together?
Yeah, there is currently a gap in the space in different in different aspects, right? So besides the research we described earlier, where research in the Web3 space it's just inconvenient, and unless we improve it in a way, we're farther from mass adoption than we can be, right? So putting that aside, we also have a huge gap in terms of development, who can start businesses in the space, and even smaller things like NFT collections. So in terms of development, right, most of the founders in the space either have their own capital, they have large VCs backing them, or they are themselves super experienced developers that know Solidity, JavaScript, etc., and they can develop the whole thing themselves up until they launch it. So there are a lot of great founders that have great ideas, yet they lack one of these. They lack these three features. So they don't have the funding, or they don't have the coding experience, yet they can be amazing founders and they have great ideas. And what's holding them back is funds and knowledge, specifically in coding. So this is where ChainGPT AI can come into place, and it allows more people to be able to just simply generate smart contracts. What if they just want to play around with it on testnet, etc.? So it truly opens up the gate for people to enter the Web3 space and learn quickly, code quickly, and start their own whatever innovation they wish in the Web3 space without having the huge backing. And then when it comes to NFT collections, to generate a very high quality NFT collection of 10,000 pieces, 3D graphics, normally it will cost, we did the research, it costs anywhere between 80K to 300K just for the graphic designer. And not to bash any graphic designers, I'm sure it's hard work, and that's why it requires that much in funding. But then at the same time, we have developed the technology that allows users to generate such collections within 60 seconds to a few minutes, depends on how large the collection. If you wish to generate an NFT, a beautiful NFT collection with super nice graphics of, let's say, 100 pieces, with ChainGPT AI, you can do it within 60 seconds or less. And then you pick your favorite art that our NFT generated for you, that our AI generated for you, and then you can mint it on chain. And the whole process takes 60 seconds, unless you want a 10,000 piece NFT collection that will take you a few minutes. And the whole thing costs close to nothing. And it, again, allows more people to be able to start their own little innovation in the Web3 space, closing the gap there too. You simply no longer need hundreds of thousands of dollars to launch your own beautiful NFT collection. And then in terms of trading, up until today, it's the space, in my opinion, now this is can be looked at as not factual. This is simply my opinion. In my opinion, it's the space currently in terms of crypto trading is a bit unfair. You have large capitals, they have all the money in the world, they spend millions of dollars on bots and trading bots. So you have market making companies, you have just investment firms, and they have the funding to be super profitable with code, with bots, and with very smart scripts that will trade for them on exchanges, centralized and decentralized. And then it leaves the retail user who doesn't have millions of dollars to spend on trading bots, and may not have hundreds of people working for them and doing technical analysis, research, etc. It leaves them to be very unlikely to be profitable, right? So they're fighting something that they're fighting algorithms, and it's simply a bit unfair, and they truly cannot compete unless they're a very intelligent developer that has a ton of experience in the crypto space and trading and can build their own bots. So generally, it's a bit unfair. There's a big gap between the capitals and the retail users. And here with ChainGPT AI, we want to close that gap as well. We want to offer retail users better access to technical analysis with our AI, but also to algorithm trading in terms of PineScript. And there is another tool that we're launching in Q4 that automates trading for the users, where they connect their API keys, they pick a strategy, and then our AI trades for them. But that comes later this year. So we're also looking to close the gap in terms of trading in the Web3 space. Now, we're not here to provide any financial advice or anything of that sort. We're simply here to provide tools that are backed by AI.
Super interesting stuff. I mean, so the overall goal, it sounds like, is to level the playing field and remove a lot of these barriers to entry. Some people don't have 300K to drop on a graphic designer for an NFT collection. I guess getting a little bit philosophical. So once you've leveled the playing field, what gives value to an NFT collection that's been generated by ChainGPT? Or similarly, how will the average user leveraging ChainGPT be able to compete competitively in the market for trading? Like, what elevates people above the level of ChainGPT, or makes it special? You know, I guess hard to exactly phrase that question because I think we're still working through the answers. But yeah, just speak a little bit about the sort of bigger picture here.
Yeah, the first step would be, in terms of trading, a retail user with no code experience, or that never got exposed to PineScript. Within 5 minutes or less, they can learn about PineScript, learn about TradingView and how to use the tools there, and then generate their own PineScript code and apply it and start using it. They can ask about which strategies are known to be more profitable statistically than others. Our AI has all that information. It also reads information in terms of strategies from different third-party API providers. So it actually gives them the most accurate answers based on right now. And this is one way where they can, within 5 minutes, already have their own PineScript trading bot running for them on TradingView and trading on different centralized exchanges, which is pretty amazing. In the past, people would spend days sometimes and still not figure out how to do it, because not everyone has the same knowledge base, right? Maybe for a developer, it will be easier to figure it all out and start their own bot than for others. And then in terms of NFT collections, if someone just wants to have a profile, let's say a profile picture NFT collection, to start a community and just have some fun in the Web3 space, it shouldn't be that difficult to do. It shouldn't require that much funding. And I understand graphic designers, because for them to generate a collection that size, they will either need to design a photo by photo, or they will need to design different components and then use a script to mix these components and create a random collection. Either way, it requires a lot of time. But then again, with AI, we just simply don't need designers to waste that much time. They can even still hire a graphic designer that will provide guidance to our AI. They can upload images of how they want the NFT collection to look, but then our AI will create the rest. So you can still utilize professionals, right? But then at the same time, it would still not require as much resources, and it wouldn't be as time consuming to do these things. If it's trading, if it's NFT generation, if it's research, if it's coding a smart contract, if it's looking for bugs in your code, or just ways to optimize it in terms of gas and get suggestions from our AI, etc. All that is just became much faster. It became easier and more accessible for retail users. And that being said, we're focused here on retail users. So far, we've been focusing on retail users. We're also not gatekeeping all these utilities that we're building. We're looking to offer SDK and API access to any developer that wishes to use any of the utilities and use cases we've been building, and either build brand new applications on top of our tech and infrastructure, or utilize it in their existing platforms. So we had a few NFT websites of marketplaces that already wish to integrate our NFT generator. So they're in our waitlist. We're not gatekeeping any of this. As soon as the V1 launches of any product, we're already releasing it to the public to integrate and use. And the coolest part here, that everything is backed by CGPT token. So every single time a developer, let's say, integrates our API and SDK, every time there is an API request on their end, they're being charged in CGPT token, which half of it is burnt out of the supply. So the whole ecosystem we've been building is also backed by the CGPT token, which is pretty cool. And of course, it has other utilities that we can mention later on this AMA.
For sure. Let's get to some audience questions. We've got some really fascinating submissions. One of them is, what are some of the ethical considerations that your team takes into account when developing and deploying your AI platform? And how do you ensure responsible use of your technology? Might be a little bit broad, but yeah, just some of the ethical considerations with AI, and when it comes to monetizing it as well, I guess, when you're incorporating a token and blockchain technology.
Yeah, so I believe the way we're been approaching this so far, it's pretty fair. It's all controlled by a DAO. So if users want to change anything, make certain utilities free, they can, because the DAO is directly affected by the source of revenue, right? So half is burnt out of the supply, but also a quarter goes to the DAO fund. So they're more affected than, let's say, us as the technological company that builds those utilities. So they can definitely change the way we're operating. They have a lot of they can contribute in different ways. And then in terms of user privacy, we haven't been collecting data on users as of now, besides of the log of the chat itself. So just like the prompt and the answer, etc. We do not collect any information. We don't know who the user is. We don't know, as of now, we don't collect your wallet address even, because that comes in V1, where there is a little bit more functionality, like a prompt marketplace and some other stuff like the membership, etc. But as of now, we're trying to be as minimal as possible in terms of data collection and give our user maximum privacy. And especially being in the Web3 space, this is something we've been seeing companies. Now, this is a personal opinion, not factual. We've been seeing companies like OpenAI that seems like they're collecting too much data on users, and then countries like Italy were banning them from, they banned ChatGPT for a short period of time until they changed the privacy policy. So we're looking to be super privacy friendly. We're in the Web3 space. Most of the individuals and the companies in that space are pro privacy in general, and we are too. So on that end, I believe we're being very ethical. In terms of the technology we're developing, as I mentioned, we're looking to decentralize it as much as possible. If anyone has suggestions or want to join a provider as suggestions that we can already implement that we're not already working on, feel free to do so. We're looking to open source. We're looking to offer access to this tech that we're building, and we're looking to decentralize as much as possible. So from my standpoint, I believe we're being very ethical in how we've been building this project so far.
Great. Yeah, no, good to hear your thoughts and your approach on that. Another question is, how do you address the issue of bias in natural language processing? That's more of a technical one than an ethical one. Bias when it comes to the information that your model ingests.
Yeah, so what we did originally, we were even planning to scan data from Twitter, from Reddit, from Medium. And then we found out we created a model that kind of provides a, I would say, opinionative score on that resource. Like, what is the percentage that this is not factual, but there is opinion or some type of biased information. And then we found out that very quickly that we can't use Medium, we can't use Twitter, we can't use Reddit for the model training. And we're more focused on factual resources that have no opinion at all. They're just factual, right? So if this is either a fact or not a fact, this is what Solidity is. This is bugs that exist. These are security exploits, and this is the guideline on how to code. No opinion whatsoever. And then when it comes to technologies, again, no opinion. And this is something that in V1, when we release our V1, that's fully using our own models that we've been building ourselves. That's where you can truly see the shift in how accurate and simply opinion-free our AI model is.
Cool. Another question is, what is the computational cost of training and running the ChainGPT model? Is that a big consideration for you? I imagine on the back end that is quite a large one.
Yeah, so that's been very, I would say it's expensive because you do need a lot of GPU to train the model. And we're training our models for the last 7+ months. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's simply the cost of developing AI. That being said, that's also what sparked up the idea for a layer 1 solution that's focused not exactly for crypto tokens, but more for AI models. And there's a little bit on our white paper about the layer 1 solution we're designing that's going to come in 2024 and 2025. But this is also a problem we're looking to solve for future AI technologies that want to be on the Web3 space, or simply even Web2 AI models that want to be decentralized and use a better form of computation power that makes better sense. So it's something we're looking to solve, but unfortunately, we're doing it right now the same as everyone else. We're using centralized servers. with GPUs to train our models, and it does cost quite a bit. We have local computers and servers that we're using that we found it's better to just simply purchase those GPUs and do it locally. But then sometimes we also need the online ones that are a little bit less cost efficient than our local computers.
Yeah, I mean, there are constraints that everyone's working within, so I appreciate you going through your approach to it. Another audience question is, can users use ChainGPT without spending the CGPT token, or is that an integral part of the system?
Yeah, they can definitely do that. We have the general AI chatbot, which is free. We're planning to keep it free for everyone. We also developed, I don't believe we announced it. I don't even think it's on our roadmap, but we've developed a Web3 search engine that's powered by ChainGPT. So it's very Web3 focused. So when you look for anything, first of all, it's going to respond to you from our AI, which is most likely going to answer your question right away. And then there is different results that depends on what you looked for. If it's a crypto token, it provides a chart, like a very cool Web3 search engine. And then after all the useful information that we provide from different kinds of results, then you will have the old school Web2 search results, like the type Google would show you. So we're also developing that, and users can also use our search engine to research, let's put it that way. In terms of the NFT generator, because it does require a lot of computing power, and it's not free for us. We can't be scalable and also offer it completely for free. So the more premium tools that we have, like the trading tools, like the NFT generator, as of now, it is going to be a premium tool that will require users either to pay per prompt, which is our PPP plan, or will require users to stake CGPT, and then they get free premium access as long as they're stakers. And we don't require much CGPT to stake to actually access these. So for retails, we made it as cheap as possible. Some tools are free, some tools are not, but it's very affordable. I doubt that anyone would have an issue with our pricing plan, actually.
Well, the good news is that each of these, everyone who submitted a question that's been chosen for this live stream will be getting $50 worth of CGPT. So they'll be able to test out your program, your platform, and hopefully do some great things with it. We'll go to our last audience submission, which is on the topic of security, obviously very near to our hearts at CertiK. So can you just speak a little bit about your approach to security with ChainGPT? Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different from other platforms that are purely smart contract based. Yours is dealing with training AI models and implementing them. So how do you approach the security of your project?
Yeah, so security is definitely top priority for us. It comes from a lot of the things we're building with security in mind, right? So we're already exploring ways on how to implement encryptions such as zero knowledge technology. So this way, even we cannot read user data. We're looking for ways to use end-to-end encryption, especially for the tool we're going to release towards the end of the year, where a user enters API keys for trading. Their security is obviously maximum priority, right? So we're looking to use lucky for us, it's 2023. There is great encryptions like end-to-end and even better zero knowledge encryptions. And that's what we're looking to implement for the more sensitive data. And then in general, as I mentioned, we don't collect any information as of now about the user. So in terms of privacy, that's also pretty great. In terms of our on-chain smart contracts, needless to say, we're working with one of the best security companies out there, CertiK. They audited our token smart contract, which is right now, I believe, ranked number 44 on CertiK, on Skynet. And we will constantly, every single smart contract that we will release, keep auditing with CertiK because security is top priority. On-chain, off-chain, it's all the same to us.
Great. I think that's something we can definitely agree on. And yeah, I encourage everyone to go check out the audit report. We formally verified the ChainGPT token contract, which is super important for making sure it works properly, and then communicating that to the community, communicating that you guys take security seriously. So I think that just about wraps it up. This has been a great discussion. I really appreciate you coming on and talking to our community, your community, bringing the two together, and doing the great work that you're doing. I think it's an incredibly fascinating area of research and development. So yeah, keep up the good work.
Awesome. Well, once again, thank you very much for having me. We love the collaboration we've been having in CertiK. Looking forward to further improve our security with you guys within this collaboration. And everyone who joined this AMA, thank you very much. Hopefully, we were able to provide some additional value and some educational resource. And was awesome to be here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to the host and CertiK for having this great AMA.
Thanks, Ilan. See you all next time.